here, and today I want to talk about the failure of the Nintendo Switch 2.
What about the failure of the PlayStation 5 with the Pro, the PSVR 2, the Portal, Concord, Marathon, all these live service and subscription games that got canceled, Foam Stars, Destruction All Stars, Until Dawn Remake? Let's talk about those failures, shall we? Because as far as I'm concerned, the Nintendo Switch 2 sold out day one. And more than likely, you probably got one pre-ordered too, and you're going to sit there and say, I only bought it for the review. I only bought it. I'm a professional gaming journalist. This is my job to do it. But yet you're sitting there giving Nintendo money for things that you allegedly say that you don't like what they're doing.
Or I guess I should say the lack of hype, because I've been covering
the lack of hype. What are you talking about, man? These people already lined up in New York trying to get one, man. It's tense already. What are you talking about, bro? People are looking forward to the Switch 2. Now, mind you, we don't know if it's gonna fall off. I mean, every Nintendo device has done well. I mean, even the 3DS, but that was mostly due to a price drop.
Gaming hardware for over a decade. You can watch old videos on my channel going back literally 10 years ago, reviewing like 3DSs and stuff like that. I mean, I have been covering lots of different eras, PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo, and it's very...
Oh yeah, we know. And you've been saying Xbox has been dead for over 10 years.
Strange that right now...
And yet they're still here.
We are 72 hours from the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, and I feel like you wouldn't know it. There's no big countdowns, there's no big hype, there's no big parties, there's no hyper-analyzing trailers. It just feels like a lot of people, even Nintendo fans, seem to be kind of saying, meh. Now, does that come down to the fact that there's not a lot of launch games? It's just Mario Kart and Cyberpunk, basically, that...
Are you serious? Even Donkey Kong Bonanza would be considered a launch game. What are you talking about? You're getting GameCube games with it. Now, mind you, that's not the biggest deal. I really think that's a ripoff of Nintendo's doing with that. But you're getting that. You're getting Mario Kart World, right? Metroid Prime is coming out probably this year. You're getting a lot of games coming out this year, bro. And you're getting far more with the Nintendo Switch 2 than what you're getting with PlayStation. Like, let's just be honest, man. At the end of the day, the only reason as to why people hate the Switch 2 is mostly due to the price tag. Because if we go back and if the Switch 2 was $300, nobody would be complaining. In $60 games, nobody would be complaining about the hype, or should I say the console Nintendo Switch 2. Nobody would complain about it. It's the price, it's the game key cards, it's all these things. But even if game key cards existed, which they kind of always had with the Switch 1, I still think people wouldn't have complained about it. I still think people would have got one. It's mostly due to the high price tag of the console as well as the games. That is it. Game key cards is kind of like the added incentive bonus where it's like, dang, it really kind of takes you out after you hear that. But other than that, I think a lot of people are looking forward to the Nintendo Switch 2.
Look halfway decent. Is it the fact that people are just bored of the Nintendo Switch? Because it is a strange thing that right now, the Nintendo Switch...
They're so bored of it. That's why it sold out the day it got like, what? Pre-orders was open and it sold out in less than 10 minutes. And you out here complaining and talking about, oh, nobody's excited for this. Well, guess what? Nobody was excited for the Pro because when that came out, regardless if you had a pre-order or not, you could have still went out and got one because nobody cared about it. But yeah, you will go out on record saying the PS5 Pro is more successful than the Nintendo Switch 2.
One is one of the most popular systems of all time. Over 150 million sold. Billions and billions just generated in raw profit, even from the hardware itself. But with the Switch 2, it doesn't have those games. It doesn't have that love. It's got...
What do you mean they don't have those games? It's backwards compatible with Switch 1. So the same games that are available on Switch 1 are more likely going to be played on... Bro, like I said, man, I know you got to keep your AC on low, but man, come on, man. We already know why you're doing these Nintendo hate tirade videos, bro. And like I said, I have no problem with people being critical towards Nintendo. I have. But the fact is that you continue to do all these Xbox and even now Nintendo hate propaganda videos just goes to show you that you ain't nothing but a pony. I don't care how many times you go out there and show that Steam Deck, bro. You're not a real gamer, bro. You go out as far to hate all these companies, but yet I've never seen him point the finger at PlayStation the way he does Microsoft and Nintendo.
$80 exclusives For Mario Kart, it's got $100 controllers, it's got a $500 console. We have truly entered a different era of Nintendo, and it does feel like people are saying, I'm not sure I want to invest into this new vibe of Nintendo, which seems to be pay before you even enjoy the play. Let me explain what I'm...
What are you talking about? That's exactly what a pre-order is. You pay, and you gotta wait to play. What? Huh? What? How does that even make sense?
Talking about, and I want to take a look at a bunch of
please do,
because it feels like even Nintendo people are kind of saying, is this going to work? Let me talk. Hi, hope you're having a great day. It's come down to the fact that a lot of the advertising for it, like today they just announced this like 30 minutes ago, hey, here's a 60 FPS patch for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Oh yeah, those games that launched totally broken, well, they still look very, very empty, but look, now it's less broken. Can you really say that this is exciting? Can you really say, yeah, man, that's totally...
I mean, you did the same thing with Pro, though. What? How? I find it so funny that the ones that are complaining about the Switch 2 are the same ones that picked up the PS5 Pro. You know, the same console where remember Avatar Frontier was actually running worse on the Pro than it did on the base model? What are y'all talking about? Just so you can still play Forza Horizon at 30 FPS with ray tracing? I mean, what are we doing here, man? I mean, if we're going to get mad at Nintendo gamers for buying a Switch 2 for upgrading, then you also got to point the finger at PlayStation 5 Pro owners, because guess what? There's nothing different about the Pro in regards to the PS5. You're still getting access to the same library. Now, mind you, the Switch 2 is an upgrade to the Switch 1, and on top of that, you're getting updates as well for some of your titles. Okay, so it's like a next-gen update in a sort of way, while also having access to games that the Switch 1 doesn't have access to. What is the problem? The games that you're playing on the glorious Pro, I still have access to. I don't get it. What is there not to... I don't even understand this.
Worth $500 to play that game from years ago, but it's less busted.
Oh yeah, just like you pay $700-800 to play Last of Us Part 2, Last of Us Part 1, Days Gone Remaster, Horizon Forbidden Remaster, even the sequel that you had was on PS4, God of Ragnarok is on the PS4, but it's Pro label enhanced. Bro, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you PlayStation fanboys literally did the same thing, but worse, and now you got a problem with Nintendo gamers buying their console, and I don't think they're just buying it for this. They're more likely buying it for Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart World, which is two games that the Switch 1 won't have access to, unlike PS5 and Pro, where I have access to the same Indiana Jones and the same Xbox games you're playing on there. So I don't get where these complaints are coming from, because it comes off very disingenuous.
This to me is just, it's not only not exciting, it almost shows how little they have to show off. In fact, a lot of the replies are about dumpster fire of the Wii U. I was a bit afraid that the Nintendo Switch...
Well, the reason why the Wii U failed was because it was a home console. So when people sit there and say, oh, people buy consoles for exclusives, I had an argument with a dude. No, if they did, then why did the Wii U fail? Nintendo was always going to be known as a secondary console in the grand scheme of video gaming. I'm sorry, it's not really considered a primary device. I'm not undermining it. I'm not saying some users don't use it as a primary gaming device. All I'm saying, it comes off more like a secondary console to a lot of people. Oh, you get an Xbox and a Switch. You get a PC and you get a Switch. You get a PlayStation, you get a Switch. You get what I'm saying? And it has more to do with the fact that it's portable. People like Nintendo in portable fashion, and that's the only way that Nintendo will continue to succeed.
Really was underpowered. It just didn't seem to...
And this console isn't, but you're still complaining.
Make sense to me as a product. But as it existed, as it got more games, as it got more ports, as it got stuff like classic Final Fantasies and all sorts of really cool stuff, I was really impressed by the passion that grew for the original Nintendo Switch. Like, when I see fan art like this...
Oh yeah, it was so passionate, you know. We had Mario Kart 8, we had Tropical Freeze. Oh yeah, let's talk about the passion, guys. 3D World, I mean, it was so passionate that they actually separated Pikmin 3 out of the Pikmin HD collection with 1 and 2. It was so passionate, you know. It was so passionate. The Switch, Demon Souls, what is it? Dark Souls, you know. A port from a 360 game. It was so passionate. The Switch, you know, besides Odyssey and a few other games, it was the most passionate platform. Breath of Wild, essentially Wii U games for the first few years of the Switch's lifespan. Yeah, it was such a passionate console, everybody. What are you talking about? Like, this just goes to show you that this man don't know nothing. Oh, yeah. What makes a Switch 1 any different than a Switch 2? I bet you can't even explain.
This is Nintendo. It's not just the games.
Because they showed a picture with all their likeness of their franchises? What are you talking about?
It's this passion. This is something that feels very unique to Nintendo fans that I've always...
Because you took one look at a Picasso Nintendo painting and this got you going, what are you talking about?
Very much admired. I mean, look at this. The fact that it's got Xenoblade, you can see Mario right here, you got Samus.
And these are all games that are gonna probably drop on the Switch too. And what do you mean? Hold on. Say this again.
That feels very unique to Nintendo fans that
nice.
I've always very much admired. I mean, look at this. The fact that it's got Xenoblade, you can see Mario.
Which is more likely gonna get a sequel.
Right here, you got Samus.
You got Mario Kart over there, hold on, what? Are you literally talking about passion games, but yet these same games are dropping on Switch too? You just said Mario Kart. What else?
Oh my god, Breath of the Wild. You can see some
That's also being updated with a 60 FPS patch.
Pokemon in here.
Pokemon, which they're also getting, Pokemon Z and A.
This art is not just fantastic, it's absolutely super impressive.
What?
It evokes a sense of nostalgia and...
But those games are all dropping on... Oh, Switch 2 ain't passionate. Pokemon Legends. Switch 2 is not passionate, but it got Metroid. You just said it. It got Samus with Metroid. Switch 2 is not passionate because in the picture it has Mario Kart. Bruh. All these games are dropping on the Switch 2, bro. On the Switch 2, it lacks passion because they got Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Bonanza coming out next month. You have got to be kidding me.
For the current tense, this is going to be the kind of stuff that people are going to look back on as the good old days. But when I think of the Nintendo Switch 2, I just feel like I don't feel that same zest. It does feel like, hey, what if we took this, but instead scaled down the fun, scaled down the
fun?
Prices, scale down everything. Well, I guess scale down everything except the prices, because they're definitely trying to make it as expensive as possible.
The Switch 2 has more offered than what the Switch 1 had at launch. What are you talking about? The Switch 2 is offering backwards compatibility with Switch 1. The Switch 2 is also providing new technology with the Joy-Cons. The Switch 2 is also providing GameCube games, while also having access to all the other virtual cards. I really don't care for, but I'm just saying of what's added to the incentive. You got Mario Kart World. We didn't get that for Switch. We got Mario Kart 8, a Wii U game. You're getting a whole new Mario Kart game. Metroid Prime, 4K, whatever. You're getting a few things, even though there's a few undermining things like the updates and upgrades. That's kind of lame in my personal opinion, but still, they're getting something that wasn't possible in the previous Switch with 60 FPS games on launch day. But of course, Dreamcast guy thinks the Switch 2 is bad. Like, I mean, what is this dude doing?
Do you think that some of the negative hype has just been about how pricey it is, and the fact that there have just been so many bad headlines? Nintendo has admitted the fact that they can break your Switch 2 if you do it.
PlayStation and Xbox can do the same thing. What are you talking about?
Anything at all suspicious, if you try to game share and appear offline, they can just remote deactivate permanently your Nintendo Switch 2. They can in the Switch 2.
There's no interest in the Switch 2, but the console is pre-ordered to the point where you can't even get one.
It's just the fact that it's not anywhere to see. It doesn't really soak into that casual gamer ethos. Like, 5 days from launch, this is a tweet by Woodhawker. He's one of the biggest, in my opinion, one of the best Nintendo Switch YouTubers. Obviously, I'm biased. He's a buddy of mine. Love you, Wood.
Exactly.
But he points out the fact that at his local GameStop, there is literally no marketing for the Nintendo Switch 2. I also saw this video where someone showed this is a Target, literally filmed today, and they showed the fact that literally, where's the Nintendo Switch 2 signage? Where's the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders? Where's the Nintendo Switch 2 games? Where's the...
I think you guys... Listen, buddy. Nobody cares. You gotta understand, when the PS5 Pro came out, I didn't see no advertisements for that. I did not see it. This is just something they do with gaming now. The days of the early 2000s where they used to just put things and you look at those videos, they got and the nostalgic theme music comes on and it makes you feel like, oh wow, this is what we had in the 2000s. You know, with people being out there, all the posters and the excitement. It's just not like that no more, bro. I don't know if it's just the way things are now, but they're not like how it was when the PS2 launched. These things are just different now, bro. And that doesn't mean that it's not successful. And that doesn't mean that people are not pre-ordering one. Like, what is wrong with you people, bro?
Nintendo Switch 2 controllers. It seems like...
Why would any of this stuff be out if the Switch 2 hasn't dropped?
Nobody cares at all for the Nintendo Switch 2.
Nobody cares about the Switch 2, then why can't people pre-order one? The Switch 2 pre-orders literally sold out in less than 10 minutes. And you out here telling people that nobody wants one.
Not even these retailers. There was this article that came out last night that I kind of want to talk about. Nintendo ended up releasing a statement saying to sit in the shadow of the Nintendo Switch 1 for at least a year or two minimum. Very, very, very minimum. It's weird that the Nintendo Switch has been so successful at converting people that are non-gamers into gamers and then into hardcore gamers.
I think that you should show more respect for the Wii, because I think that's what the Wii did.
But I do think a lot of those people went on to buy PCs, to buy PlayStation 5s, to
here we go, to buy PS. Bro, ain't no, be quiet. And if they bought a PS5, they bought it for GTA 6 coming up next. They didn't buy it for your exclusives that you keep telling people. Oh, the de facto console. You see this? This is ponies, man. Say what y'all want about Xbox dudes, but I don't see Xbox dudes out here trashing a competition like this. I really don't. I see PlayStation dudes always bashing Xbox, always bashing PC, always bashing Nintendo. Now, I'm not saying there's not no Xbox dudes doing that, but I'm just saying you PlayStation dudes take the cake for bashing everything that ain't PlayStation. And what I find so funny about that, even with all those PS5s out there, nobody's buying Marathon. Nobody cares for fair games. Nobody cares about the games that you had coming out. Sony don't even care because they're canceling all the games that they're making. What are you talking about, bro? Like, yo, you guys got one game this year, Ghost of Yote. You're literally getting carried by Microsoft, the same company that you say you hate.
Onto other systems. And now, if they're looking at the power of their PlayStation 5 or playing on their Steam Deck, and you go, hey, time to buy a new $500 Nintendo Switch, which has a worse battery life, which has mostly digital games.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Games, which has the most expensive games on the market, the most expensive controllers. A lot of people are just saying, no thanks, I'm good.
Coming from a guy that ripped his girlfriend off to get the PS5 Pro.
Is not good.
Let me guess. You couldn't play her again. You couldn't sell her the Switch 1, claiming that it was the Switch 2 for $450. Is that what's going on? Did she tell you that she can't buy it for you for $500, or how you played me the last time with the last product you sold her? Like, what's really going on here, man? Because I tell you right now, if you get that Switch 2, all that stuff you're saying in this video, nobody's gonna respect you. If you buy one, day one, I'm a reviewer, and nobody want to hear it. I'm tired of content creators using it as an excuse to still go out there and support these anti-consumer practices. It's like he wants you to cancel your pre-order so he can get one. That's what it seems like. Because, like I said, I'm standing strong in what I said, and I'm not buying the Switch 2. I'll buy it secondhand if whatever. I can wait. But I'm just saying, but if you're one of those content creators that is always bashing Nintendo and then you go out there and support Nintendo, then people are going to start looking at you and be like, bro, you are nothing but a hypocrite.
For Nintendo. But these are just been...
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, man, the Switch 2 sold out way quicker than what the PlayStation 5 did. And we got PlayStation fanboys hating on it because it actually has exclusive games, and it actually people are picking up the console to play a game that Nintendo made and not a game that's made by Microsoft, or should I say third party. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, PlayStation fanboys are just salty because they no longer have the crown no more. They knew this day was going to come. They knew it. Switch 2 is already more successful than the PS5, and the Switch 2 is not even out yet. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Take care.